Ladies and gentlemen, today I wanted to showcase my level 65 raid run this morning and talk about the team and setup for me that has been working the most effectively so far, which is essentially the previous one, you know, Captain America, Black Widow, Quake, Night Nurse, but also that fourth spot really has been very subject to change and debate, and I've used Hand Sentry in there in the past, I've used Yondu previously, very popular character, but I think since the Vision buff, Vision brings something very unique and useful to level 65 raids, which is kind of an additional layer of immediate control for every single fight between his offense down, his ability block, and also ability to remove 2 buffs with his ultimate. He's just so good and works really well with Captain America and also Black Widow because he is also categorized as an Avengers character. So yeah, I've been loving this team generally speaking for level 65 raids, although they are still, in my opinion, massively overtuned and there isn't a reliable way on the majority of nodes to get a one-shot. There's a lot of ways that you can control the fights, but you're still subject to very bad target RNG, all sorts of stuff that you're probably going to see throughout this video, you know, when the enemy tends to pick on one character in particular, because there is so much damage and the opponents are so stacked when you get to the later nodes, you know, they're fully kitted out level 65 characters. If like a few opponents decide to focus on one character and it's in an interval where you don't have, you know, your taunt available on Captain America, or there's too many enemies and not enough control, then yeah, stuff can get a little bit messy there. But I've generally found this team kind of has the highest win rate and success rate, and using this team I've been able to one-shot quite a few nodes which people thought were impossible to do, and I can understand why. You know, you do kind of need the stars to align on certain nodes and certain fights because there's just crazy stuff going on. But anyway, that's it for the introduction fight. Super easy fight there, just offense down, control that fight, keep them all slowed. But that's generally kind of the big priority with this team, is exerting as much control as you can over the opposition while keeping everybody topped up, ideally speaking with Night Nurse. Now, this is a very annoying node here. We have so much damage from kind of all the mercenary characters and the Merc Lieutenant, kind of beefing them up, speeding them up, makes it a huge threat. So we stun the core off, we got double offense down, and we're aiming for a slow here on kind of the 4 right-hand side, kind of big damage dealers are the ones to really worry about. It's, to be honest, the sniper and Korath that tend to be the biggest issue here. Like, the soldiers are a bit of a pain in the ass, but really, it's that sniper and Korath that are taking down some of your characters. So when all the targets are slowed and you're sped up, you have really good intervals with Vision to get in an offense down. Ideally, as many people as you can. Here we're going for the Korath, want to keep him controlled, but also because we have an additional in on Vision, we're going to save the offense down for the next wave because there are 4 more characters that are going to drop down as well. So we kind of need that big Quake, Earthquake to control the fight, so that's why we're not using it immediately. And now we can punch into the right-hand side with offense down on the sniper and also the soldier. But as you can see here, they are just completely ignoring everybody apart from Night Nurse, so she's taken a bit of a battering here. However, hopefully we are going to be able to rein this one back just a little bit. So here, pretty much everybody is slowed, so I want to try and get the sniper and Korath down. That's my priority. We get Night Nurse topped up. Let's get a little bit of speed up as well. Taunt on Captain America to maybe soak up some additional turns and siphon out even more ability energy. We applied the slow there. The Merc right guard taunts up at a bit of an annoying time when everybody has just dropped down, so we have that taunt that we can't really get through at the moment. However, I believe we got Vision's ultimate coming up, so we're going to clear the taunt, get rid of some defense ups. But as you can see here, we don't have a taunt. Night Nurse is vulnerable. They've only been attacking Night Nurse so far. We throw the ultimate on Quake. We don't really get offense down on all of the right targets that we were looking for there. The sniper just absolutely destroys my Night Nurse with like a 31k hit there. And here we are trying to control and clean up the fight. Now, in hindsight, I think I probably should have stunned the Iron Fist here, but I wanted to make sure this Merc Lieutenant died and didn't get next turn because he was quite close to it. Unfortunately, didn't get a chain on with the bleed there. Iron Fist attacks into Black Widow, but it's okay. We take a bit of damage there. We use the speed up on Black Widow, trying to get the offense down on both Iron Fist and the sniper. The taunt back on Captain America now and clean this fight up. But this is one, you know, that really does get a little bit messy when that second wave drops down. But if the AI wasn't solely focusing on my Night Nurse there, it would have been like, I would assume a fairly easy kill. You know, this is a great opportunity toward the end of the fight to get everybody topped up with Night Nurse as well, and that's really what you want to take advantage of when you're playing with Night Nurse in fights, is kind of leaving those big chunky tanks to the end that are not really doing anything, the quite slow ones, so you can speed up, slow them down, just recharge all of your abilities, and then be ready to go on the next node. However, yeah, that didn't work out too well there, but again, just the subject of some terrible RNG. So here we're going to use some raid recharges to get back in the fight, top up a few of our characters. I believe we left Quake and also Captain America not full here, moving on to the next node, because this node is actually relatively easy to control at the start. You just want to focus on getting that Iron Man down as soon as possible, because Iron Man is just such an incredibly huge threat with Captain America. So yeah, straight in with the Black Widow stun. Got a few plays here with Vision, but I decided to go right-hand side ability block for Luke Cage to prevent him from throwing out additional ability energy and also applying defense up, because again, this one is all about getting the Iron Man down as soon as possible. We throw the Earthquake just for that damage, and also see the Daredevil. You know, he's going to die from the bleed next turn, so that's an awesome little chain on there from Black Widow. Now attack into the Iron Man, get that offense down, that bleed. Iron Fist isn't too much of a threat at this point as well. Here, I see Iron Man and Captain America are about to have their turns, so I throw off Quake's second one just to make sure that Captain America drops, and also Iron Man is likely to drop with a bleed, but I just wanted to make sure that he went down here, so we fire that off, and now we have just to deal with Cable, Deadpool, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, so really good scenario and position that we're in here. Offense down on the Cable, we go for the stun on the Deadpool, get some fantastic bleed value on both Luke Cage and Iron Fist there from Black Widow, and now we've got them slowed, we've got them controlled, and this match up is just absolutely cleaned up in no time at all. But yeah, this one can get really messy if you do not prioritize that Iron Man and get him down as soon as possible. But now it's just a case of nuking into these lot, making sure Cable and Deadpool drop. I think we're going for Deadpool first in terms of the kill, and then Cable, because Cable's really much slower, and with a slowdown buff, man, he's just absolutely in the bin. So we get him down, we attack into Luke Cage, got, you know, a few turns to charge some of our abilities, and we are pretty much ready and raring to go for the very next fight. So yeah, I'm just such a big fan of Vision. I feel like his control is just absolutely essential to managing a lot of these level 65 fights, because they are so hectic, and we're going to see here some absolutely crazy luck by Vision. So what we're trying to do here is essentially get to the Hawkeye and Cable as quickly as possible. So we need to get through the Drax, and first turn, the ability block on Vision is absolutely crazy. You ideally want it to land on Luke Cage, because that also blocks the defense up as well. So yeah, we've got through Drax, we've got through Luke Cage. We decide to also slow to make their next turns be even longer, because Drax, once he gets that taunt, is a little bit annoying to get through, but we do have multiple options here. Next up, we use the ultimate on Vision just to deal damage to everybody, make sure we can get through that Drax now, and it's time to nuke into Cable and Hawkeye, because we want to get that Hawkeye down before he applies his blind and potentially screws us over. Apply the slow to the right-hand side as well, so everybody has slow now. The fight is significantly more in our control, and also we can offense down Cable, so he's not really doing anything. Both of the kind of big damage threats here are controlled, and yeah, Punisher wasn't really too much of an issue, because we had Night Nurse's kind of ultimate there ready to counteract some of the damage. So here I'm looking at Cable's speed. He's still quite slow, so we go for a second round of ability block on Drax and Luke Cage. It hits both of them. Insane value there. Drax has done absolutely nothing. Luke Cage has been on the bench, and now the final wave has come round, so we got a stacked Rocket and also a stacked Wolverine. So I want to get the Rocket down before he does his ultimate, get everybody topped off with Night Nurse here. But yeah, for dealing with a lot of the, a lot of the big threats that you see in these raids, a lot of the big exploding lads are really tech characters. So having that additional bleed on Vision's basic is just so good for helping to get them down. We stun Wolverine just because I know I'm not going to take him out for a while. Get an insane bleed chain on there. Pretty much everybody's dropping. We just make sure Punisher is dead. Rocket has enough bleeds to drop as well. So we just fire off the area of effect slow. Make sure everybody is dying there. We want to finish off Groot last because he does absolutely nothing. So I know I can recharge my abilities on him. So yeah, finish off on the old Wolverine here. But also Also, you might have noticed that we did get an additional turn on that stun, and that has been something that occasionally pops up. I think it's when the opponent is slowed. Sometimes it like carries over, like stun and ability block, but I don't really know what the interaction is or exactly how that works there. But it's a curious thing that I've certainly noticed. But now we are entering the absolutely ridiculous node territory. This node, this is actually the very first time I've managed to one-shot this one because we were fully prepared from the previous fight. However, this one is tricky, man. Very, very tricky. And I decided to go for the stun on the Deadpool first because Deadpool can absolutely tear through your team here. He is so incredibly stacked. But also on the first turn, you've got Hand Sentry's Smoke Bomb, Scientist Supreme's Flip, and also Doctor Strange's Flip on your buffs as well to worry about. So yeah, there is a lot to manage here. We fire off the slow here, which might have been the incorrect play, and then Doctor Strange is also going to flip the buffs that we have at the moment. The priority here is really get Doctor Strange, Hand Sentry, and Scientist Supreme down as quickly as possible, because with the revive that both Strange and Scientist have, along with Hand Sentry's really annoying smoke bombs, this fight can get out of hand and be a massive clown fiesta very quickly. We're also trying to control that rocket as well, make sure he doesn't wreck the team too much, but again, they are just absolutely nuking the crap out of my Night Nurse here, so she is in a lot better trouble, and everybody is stealthed at the moment. I think here we decide to go for the stun on Hand Sentry. We get the top up with Night Nurse. However, Night Nurse is in a pretty dire situation at the moment from that Wolverine because he hits like a friggin' truck as well. And now we just want to get Rocket down before his ultimate. So there are just so many characters that you're racing. Perfect Quake area of effect there. The offense down is not going to be flipped to offense up because Scientist Supreme's thing is on cooldown. And now we just want to get Doctor Strange down before his revive, and then sort out Hand Sentry as well. So we got the ability block on both of them, so I know they're fine for another turn. Then we go to the left-hand side and slow everybody there, but we also have even more minions coming down. There's a Korath and another Hand Sorceress as well. We stun the Deadpool just to prevent him from laying into the team anymore while we clean up Doctor Strange and also Hand Sentry. But now also we have a pretty stacked Korath in the mix to worry about, and no healer, because Deadpool absolutely annihilated my Night Nurse. So we got the offense down, we got it on Korath. Feeling like this fight is relatively under control, but still kind of any man's game at this point. I think here we decide to go for another area of effect slow, kind of just apply it to everybody, get it on that Hand Sorceress as well. And now we are focusing on Deadpool. He needs to drop. He's kind of #1 on my priority list at the moment. But also Scientist Supreme and Korath, I'm aware, can very much screw me up as well. We get another stun on Deadpool. Just Black Widow being the absolute MVP that she is here. So really, really awesome times. We chuck the shield. Deadpool goes down. And now I'm trying to control Korath while we get Scientist Supreme down. So we got the offense down on Korath, which is a great time. We throw out another Earthquake as well. Scientist Supreme is about to drop. I just want to make sure she dies just so that she doesn't like revive Doctor Strange, and then he revives Hand Sentry, and then they stealth bomb, and then we get another heal from Hand Sorceress. Like crazy stuff like that does happen on this node, man, so you just got to be so careful, but you're always subject to RNG because sometimes Scientist Supreme can just like chain revive, and I'm sure if you've done the level 65 raids in the last couple of weeks, you probably know the pain of that. But now we're just trying to control all of these. The Hand Sorceress on the right is stunned. We get the left one down, we go for the offense down. If he attacks into Vision, Vision's dead. If he attacks into anybody else, they live. But unfortunately, Vision died there. But there we go, we got one shot. That was my first one shot on that node. I was pretty happy about it. But yeah, not too shabby at all. If you enjoyed today's raid video, smash that like button for this awesome team. Ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.